Hello and welcome to the Richard Watkins podcast, the show where we explore the intersection of science, policy, and innovation. I'm your host, Richard Watkins, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today, whether you're a policymaker, an academic, thought leader, or just someone passionate about the latest developments in science and technology. This podcast is for you. In each episode, we dive deep into conversations with some of the brightest minds in their field. We'll be featuring thought leaders, academics, policymakers who are shaping the future of our world. Our goal is to provide you with insights, ideas, and inspiration to help you navigate the rapid changes in our society. But today, it's just you and I, and we'll be exploring some of the most pressing issues and exciting developments in the world of science and policy. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. But before we go any further, we have to give huge shout outs to who make this podcast possible. The Science Policy Action Network, Inc., or SPAN. We are the premier lobbying and consulting firm specializing in education, innovation, and health. Our mission is to drive impactful policy changes and foster advancement in these critical areas. At SPAN, we work closely with educational institutions, healthcare organizations, and innovative startups to navigate the complex landscape of policy and regulation. Whether it's advocating for improved educational standards, supporting groundbreaking health initiatives, or fostering innovation and technology, we are committed to making a positive difference. Our team brings together a wealth of experience in public policy, science, and industry. We leverage our expertise to provide strategic advice, advocacy, and support to our clients, ensuring their voices are heard. If you're interested or looking for a partner to navigate the policy world and drive meaningful changes, SPAN is here to help. You can learn more about us by visiting our website at www.span-inc.org. Again, that is www.span-inc.org. All right, to kick things off, all right, I want to give you a little bit of background about why exactly I started this podcast and what you can expect in episodes to come. As someone deeply involved in the intersection of science and policy, I've seen firsthand how critical it is to bridge the gap between these two worlds. There's so much incredible research being done, but often it doesn't make it to the policymakers who can put it into action. And on the flip side, there are many policy decisions being made without the benefit of scientific insight. That's where the Richard Watkins podcast comes in. We aim to bring these two worlds together by featuring experts who can shed light on the latest research trends and policies. We'll cover a wide range of topics, from health and education to technology and innovation. And we'll do it in a way that's accessible and engaging for everyone. And as your host, I am dedicated to doing my very, very best. Let's get into some subjects here, right? So today, where should we start? There's so many topics to start off, but I've got a script here, and if you can see my eyes darting around, I am just going off of the script, and sometimes I'll actually go off script if need be. So bear with me as we fly the plane as we build it, all right? So I'm Richard Watkins, PhD, Dr. Richard Watkins. My PhD is actually in microbiology and immunology, where I focus mainly on viruses, specifically HIV, and understanding how the proteins of HIV play a role in ultimately the development of AIDS and HIV positive patients. I got my PhD from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I did my undergrad work at Fayetteville State University, where I majored in psychology and minored in sociology. I ran for United States Senate. I ran for United States Congress, and I actually then started my own business. So you've got an academic, an entrepreneur, and a politician just all rolled up into one. And I bring all of that to bear in this podcast. I promise you, there is no other podcast that has a host with that eclectic of a background, for better or worse. And I might just be the best public speaker in the world. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. I try to be honest, right? Or I can give you humility. I can't give you honesty and humility at the same time, right? All right. But that's out of the way. I just want to let you know a little bit about who you were talking to. And I'll provide little glimpses into my background as we go on. All right. But today I want to talk about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, right? That's innovation in education, right? Education is the foundation, right? Let's be clear. It's the foundation of our society, and it's constantly evolving, from new teaching methods to cutting edge technology. There is so much happening in this space. One of the biggest trends we're seeing right now, and if you checked out last week's episode with Dr. Tiffany Barnes, it's the integration of AI and technology in the classroom. This isn't just about using computers and tablets, all right? I know many of you all think it's just about it, but it ain't just about using computers and tablets. It's about leveraging AI to personalize learning experiences and to improve outcomes and make education more accessible to all students, all right? Now, you want to hear some examples? Let's talk about some examples. In recent years, we've seen the rise of adaptive learning platforms that can adjust to each student's needs in real time. These platforms use AI to analyze student performance and provide personalized recommendations, helping students learn at their own pace. If you want to learn more about this or dive in more detail, I suggest that you sign up for our AI workshops. We train administrators, we train educators, parents, you name it. So if your school or the school of your child doesn't offer that, you should demand it and come to us. We're happy to help because these are conversations that have to happen right now. And if they're not happening right now at your school, it's your child's in a bad place. Okay. But anyway, another excitement development, right? So that's the AI piece, and we're going to definitely come back to that. And this is really cool, right? Is the development of virtual reality and augmented reality in education. Now, these technologies, check it out, these technologies can create an immersive learning experience that brings subjects to life in ways that traditional methods simply cannot. Imagine a history lesson, right? Where you can explore an ancient civilization in VR, or a science class where you can conduct virtual experiments. But it's not just about technology itself, it's also about how we implement it. We need to ensure that teachers are trained to use these tools effectively, and that we address issues like digital equality, right? So not all students have access to the latest technology. So we need to find ways to bridge the gap. And we're going to have episodes where we bring in experts to talk about just that, right? Now, of course, with any new development, right? Maybe pivoting here a little bit, there are always policy implications to consider. When it comes to innovation in education, there are a few key areas that policymakers need to focus on. First, funding. Funding is crucial. All right. We need to invest in the infrastructure and the resources, right? Both infrastructure and resources necessary to bring these technologies to all schools, not to those fluent areas. This means increasing funding for education and ensuring that it is distributed equitably. Okay? That's very, very important. There is already a chasm that exists, and these technologies could, if not equitably distributed, could make that chasm even larger. Second, all right, second, we need to develop clear guidelines and standards for the use of AI and technology in the classroom. This includes ensuring data privacy and security for students, as well as setting standards for the quality and effectiveness of educational technology. And there's a lot of great work being done in those areas. And again, tune in on a weekly basis and we'll tell you all about it. Finally, we need to support ongoing research and evaluation. We need to continuously assess the impact of these technologies on student learning and make adjustments as needed. This means funding research initiatives and creating mechanisms for feedback and improvement. All right. All right. Let's shift gears again. All right. We're going to, throughout this, just you and me, and we'll try to do, even though we're bringing in guests, we're going to have segments maybe once a month where it's just you and I talking, where we talk about topics, maybe it's the latest topics, but, we're going to do that. And we're going to, even within this piece, we're going to bounce back and forth through a wide variety of topics. So let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit, right? And talk about another area that's experiencing rapid innovation, and that is healthcare technology. The intersection of healthcare and technology is one of the most exciting and impactful fields, right, of today, right? From telemedicine to AI-driven diagnostics, technology is revolutionizing how we understand and prevent and treat diseases, right? Like the amount of new information that is coming out regarding our health, it's greater than it has ever been. Okay. It is greater than it has ever been before. Right. And it's very important that we have a space to talk about it, because we're not just talking about health as an abstract concept. We're talking about the well being of the people you care most about, right? Your family members, your mom, your dad, or we're coming up on Father's Day, right? Many of us don't have fathers, right? Because we've lost them to diseases and so on and so forth that we one day will hopefully find treatments and cures for, but only if we invest in them properly today and we have conversations and understanding. I know I lost my mom to cancer, right? And we are making so many advancements in our understanding of cancer, right? But the more we pour into it, the more we get out, and the more we're able to extend the lives and save the lives and improve the lives of those we care about. Okay. And that's just really important, right? So, one of the most significant advancements in recent years, right? And going back to artificial intelligence, that is on the tips of everyone's tongues, right? Like our last episode was about it. So, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence a lot. Is artificial intelligence and medical diagnostics, right? AI, AI algorithms can analyze medical images such as x rays, MRIs with remarkable accuracy, often detecting conditions earlier and more accurately than human doctors. This can lead to earlier interventions and better outcomes for patients. I remember hearing about this from the then director of artificial intelligence for Google when he was describing how AI systems were being employed or deployed to kind of understand eyes and the health of eyes. And it was doing this task better than the most elite ophthalmologists at that time. And that was more than 7 years ago, right? So we've gone way past that, right? So and another one, right? Here's another one. Here's another one. Telemedicine, and I mentioned it earlier. Now, telemedicine has also seen a surge, right? Especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. It has become a vital tool in providing healthcare access to remote and underserved populations. Patients can consult with doctors from the comfort of their home, reducing the need to travel and minimizing the risk of exposure to infectious diseases, right? It's a huge one. It's made it possible, which is why, again, we have to make sure that everybody has these technological resources, because it's becoming very true that it's becoming harder and harder to actually function in our society if you do not have the technological resources available to you. And not having those technological resources can ultimately impact your health, as we're talking about right here. Another exciting development is the use of wearable technology, right? You all know what I'm talking about. You've got Fitbit, smartwatches, right? Like devices like smartwatches, right? It can monitor your vital signs, track physical activity, and even detect irregular heart rhythms. This continuous monitoring can provide valuable data to health providers and help patients manage chronic conditions more effectively. However, these advancements bring challenges, right? Privacy, data security, those are all paramount importance. As sensitive health information needs to be protected. Anybody who has worked in the healthcare field or who has done research dealing with human patients knows all about the links that we go through to protect our patients' information. There's also an issue of accessibility. Again, not everyone has access to the latest technologies, right? Or even the internet, which can widen the gap of healthcare equality and exacerbate health disparities. All right. So what's something else? Something else. Oh, here's another thing, right? Let's explore the future of work. Everybody talks about it, it's so important, right? We train our whole lives just to work, right? So let's talk about the future of work. The nature of work, obviously, is rapidly changing, right? The stuff that we do today is not the same stuff that we did 80 years ago, okay? I think that's one of the hard things to really wrap our minds around when we talk about innovation, right? Innovation is exponential. But as a society, we operate off of traditions and cultures that are rooted in centuries of traditions and cultures and expectations and religious values. All right. And it makes it hard to sometimes kind of operate in a society that's impacted by technology that is progressing exponentially, right? And that impacts every aspect of our life, right? Obviously, including work, right? And as I just said, the nature of work is changing rapidly, right? Driven by developments and advancements in technology, globalization, and shifting societal norms from remote work to the gig economy. These changes are reshaping how we think about employment and productivity. Remote work has become more prevalent. I mean, I'm working from an office in my home and I can reach thousands of people no matter where they are, on the planet. Our guests are going to be from all over the world, right? And I don't even have to leave my house, right? It's like better than the Jetsons, right? Now, many companies have realized that employees can be just as productive working from home as they are in the office, and in many cases, more productive. Now, I know there's a lot of different feelings, like you have to have people inside or so on and so forth, but you know, a lot of the data is showing that employees can do the same amount of work at home. And a lot of companies can save costs on, brick and mortar, office spaces, right? Now, this shift has led to the rethinking of office spaces, work-life balance, and even urban planning as people move away from crowded cities to more affordable areas. The gig economy is another trend that's transforming the workforce. More people are taking on freelance or contract work, enjoying flexibility it offers. However, this also raises questions about job security, benefits, and workers' rights. How do we ensure that gig workers have access to healthcare, retirement savings, and other benefits traditionally provided by employers? Automation and AI are also impacting the future of work. While these technologies can increase efficiency and productivity, they also pose a threat to jobs in certain sectors. It's crucial to focus on the reskilling and upskilling of the workforce to prepare for these changes. This means investing in education and training and programs that can help workers adapt to the new roles and industries. Let's call a timeout right here. There was so much in this piece right here that I really want people to kind of like really think about. Which direction do you go in, right? So you got like the gig economy, right, where you don't have like the assurance of like health benefits, right, retirement, so on and so forth, right? And so people are like, especially older generations, they're like, don't do the gig economy, get a job, 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 because that's what they did. But the workforce is changing, and innovations and technologies are competing against traditional workers. Many companies are laying off workers because their consumer base enjoys interactions with the technology more than the traditional worker. So what is the advice to give, right? I know many of you out there right now talk to your parents, grandparents, and they give advice based off of what they experienced. It has nothing to do with what we're currently experiencing right now. It doesn't matter whether it's a blue collar job or a white collar job. You are competing against technology. And in the cases of many companies where profit generation is the number one objective, you generate profit obviously by selling more goods and services. You can also generate profit by cutting costs. And a lot of these technologies are presenting excellent opportunities to cut costs, mainly in regards to employment of people, right? So you got to have these conversations. And it really worries me that they're not being had enough. I was just on the phone this morning with a member of my church, and they was like, Dr. Watkins, can you tell me a little bit about artificial intelligence and so on and so forth? Again, I'm telling you, everybody is talking about artificial intelligence, and I think rightfully so. I think it's one of the greatest technological developments or creations in human history. And again, as we talked about last week, I think the hard part is, and never before in human history have humans not been, and when I say humans, I mean you and I, right? People, us, right? Never before have we not been the apex of intelligence on this planet, right? But that's where we are now. We are no longer the apex. We're no longer the top of intelligence on this planet. These AI systems have access to the totality of human knowledge. And not only that, it is then able to analyze the totality of human knowledge just like that. I hope you understand what I'm saying, and I hope I said it clear enough. Many of you already are trying to really figure out where you fit in this economy, and more of us are going to be asking the same questions. Parents are going to be wondering about what their children are going to even be doing once they graduate, which changes the way we look at education in general. Education is to prepare young adults, children to be functioning adults and contributing adults in society. What does that look like when they are now competing against technology that is in many regards, superior to all of us? Think about that. And if you're not having that conversation in your workplace, in your place of worship, in place of education, you gotta have it, right? Because it is very serious. And I worry honestly about the lack of conversations about this. Okay, let's turn to another one. I know this is really, really important, right? It is perhaps, and I feel like I feel like I'm using hyperbole with a lot of stuff, but trust me, I am not. I'm just trying to say it as clear and concise as I possibly can, right? We got to turn our attention to one of the most critical issues of our time. And I know that people are not talking about it as much as they used to because we had a pandemic and we have artificial intelligence, right? But it is still climate change and sustainability, okay? The science is absolutely clear. Our planet is warming, right? And human activities are the primary cause. Okay, listen, argue with me, right? Listen, when you see this video and you see this and you disagree, man, please come at me in the comment section, okay? This is the thing about like this is the thing about like the way the world works. It spares neither the defiant nor the repentant. Okay? Things happen and it doesn't sometimes matter whether or not you believe it's happening or not. That's out of the way. Let's get right back into it, right? Addressing climate change requires a coordinated global effort and innovative solutions. One promising area is renewable energy. Solar, wind, and other renewable sources are becoming more affordable and efficient, offering a viable alternative to fossil fuels. However, transitioning to clean energy requires significant investment, infrastructure, research, and most importantly, policy support. Sustainability isn't just about energy, it's also about, wait, before I get into this next piece, I want to say this, right? And I don't want to put cart in front of the horse, right? I'm just going to make just a quick note here, right? We talk about huge breakthroughs, and artificial intelligence is being one of those. I'll just mention, and we'll cover this in future episodes. I would argue that maybe the number one or maybe number two is a breakthrough in energy that we did not mention here. If you know, you know, but we'll cover it in future episodes. But there have been in the past 5 years massive, massive breakthroughs in energy. All right. So, like I said, everybody is talking about artificial intelligence, but very soon, the way energy is looked at is going to be very different the way we look at energy now. Okay. And like I said, we didn't discuss it yet here, but we will discuss it in future episodes. And it's out of this world. All right. Back to what we were talking about, right? Sustainability isn't just about energy. It's also about how we use our resources, right? Innovations in agriculture, for example, can help us produce food more sustainably, excuse me. Techniques like precision farming and the use of data and technology to optimize crop yields and reduce waste, urban farming, vertical gardens. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but that is a huge thing. Vertical gardens are also emerging as ways to grow food in urban environments, reducing the need for a long supply chain. Another critical aspect of sustainability is reducing our waste. This circular economy concept aims to minimize waste by designing products that can be reused, repaired, or recycled. This requires a shift in how we think about production and consumption. And it has implications for industries ranging from fashion to electronics. Policy plays a crucial role in driving sustainability efforts. Governments need to be ambitious. They need to set ambitious targets, provide incentives for clean technologies, and enforce regulations that protect the environment. Public awareness, okay? Public awareness and engagement is critical. It's critical. It is said all the time, and I will say it again, ignorance is not an excuse. Now, we are all ignorant on something, and you'll find out the more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know, and that is a fact. But let's all work together, right, to expand our understanding of the world around us. Learning is lifelong, okay? So that's why I say public awareness and engagement is critical. We all have a role to play in creating a sustainable future. Finally, finally, let's discuss AI one more time. It is the ethical implications of AI and technology. As these technologies become more integrated into our lives, it is crucial to consider their impact on society and ensure they're developed and used responsibly. One concern is bias in AI. If the data used to train AI is biased, the outcomes can be biased as well. And I say can't because we don't yet understand the implications of AI on our society. Anyone who claims to completely know AI or have a complete understanding of AI is either intentionally misleading you or a bit delusional themselves. Okay. Because we're dealing with a system that is smarter than us. So to say that you understand something that is smarter than you, eh, you know what I'm saying? It's like a June bug saying it understands why humans need to go to a grocery store, right? It just I know that's tough for a lot of people to hear. And I know there's some people that are going to watch this that are going to scoff. And I understand why you would, because never in human history have we been presented with anything like this. And I may be coming and presenting these ideas to you for the first time. So I understand it. And as you know, the allegory of the cave goes, it's hard to just immediately present people with something that they've never really been presented with before. So hopefully you find, the path to your own understanding, right? And if it's not with me, I understand, but I do just want to communicate to you that it we're living obviously in unprecedented times, dealing with unprecedented technological advancements. And I would say the impact that technology or innovations as a broader term will have on your life and society over the course of the next 10 to 20 years will be greater than the impact that innovation has had on society for the past 1,000 years. You got that? Good. All right, back to biases, right? Now, these bias outcomes could lead to unfair treatment and discrimination in areas like hiring, law enforcement, and lending. Addressing these issues require a diverse and representative data, right? As well as transparency in how AI systems are designed and deployed. Privacy is another major concern. I've mentioned it several times, right? It's always a concern. And, it's been reported that, if you think privacy is an actual thing, you got to think again. Your information, your habits, your purchasing habits, where you go, these things are constantly being tracked and monitored and recorded. Okay. And this is going to be an even bigger deal as technology just evolves, right? So, as we generate more data through our interactions with technology, protecting that data becomes increasingly important. Companies and governments need to implement robust data protection measures and give individuals control over their own information. The rise of surveillance technology also raises ethical questions. We just discussed how everything is monitored. The things that I'm saying into my camera right now, which you will ultimately consume on a wide variety of platforms, that is recorded. The software or the hardware that you utilize or you interface with also records your behaviors and how you utilize them. Every aspect of your life is being documented and recorded, right? I think about this all the time. My daughter is 8, and from the time that she was born, every kind of developmental milestone has been, posted or plastered on, social media. So family and loved ones are able to just enjoy like her growing up. It's awesome. And I love watching my other family members grow up and do amazing things and being able to interact with them and interact with their progress. But that's a new thing, right? For those of us who are millennials and older, our lives have never been documented in that way. And what impact does that have on us, right? What sense of privacy or what sense of private self is there left? And how does that then impact the way that someone views themselves in regards to their context with society? I don't know the answers to that, but we have to have questions. And we have to have answers and we have to have conversations. I always think the question is more important than the answer, right? We have to constantly ask questions and we have to ask questions in new ways. Language is precious. Try to figure out new ways to ask sometimes the same question, right? Let's have a conversation. Let's have a dialogue. Obviously, this is why we have the Richard Watkins podcast. Okay. So, again, surveillance is going to be an important thing. There is a camera everywhere. I'd argue there's more camera lenses than there are eyeballs in our society. I don't know if that's true, but there's a camera everywhere, right? You go to an ATM, there's a camera. You have a phone. Many cameras on phones have like 4 or 5 lenses. There's a camera on your laptop. There's a camera here. There's a camera on your car. There's cameras absolutely everywhere. Okay. If anybody has ever gone to a gym, right? Everybody is making videos, working out, and so on and so forth. If you're not careful, you can end up in the background of someone's video, right? That's just how it goes. Okay. And that lends itself to surveillance, Big Brother, so on and so forth, which, is not always a bad thing. It goes both ways. Okay. It's not always a bad thing. It can offer a lot of solutions to many problems, but it can also create additional problems. While, technology can create new opportunities, right? It can also generate challenges, right? So while these technologies can enhance security, they can also infringe on privacy and civil liberties. It's essential to strike a balance between security and individual rights, ensuring that surveillance is used responsibly and transparently. Lastly, there's an issue of job displacement due to automation. If you have Instagram, yeah, check out Austin Dynamics, right? And there's a lot of, I'm not pubbing them, right? There is a lot of like automation companies, but check them out. If you haven't kept up with the field, your mind will be blown by the development in the field of automation, right? And then what we'll soon see is the merger of artificial intelligence and automation, right? Giving AI a body. Okay, I just want to make sure you giving AI a body. That's okay. I believe we've already crossed the Rubicon, but listen, just imagine what that's like, okay? While technology can create new opportunities, it can also render certain jobs obsolete. So, meaning the job you might have currently that you love, it provides value to your life, it allows you to pay the bills, it allows you to care for people that you love, it will render it obsolete, meaning that you will lose your job. So we need to ensure that workers are supported, okay, through retraining programs, transition programs, social safety nets, and policies that promote inclusive growth. Those are only a few things. I think about this stuff all the time, and I always look forward to the opportunity to have these conversations. I am a learner at heart. I'm driven by curiosity. I love science. I love engineering, right? Though I'm a virologist, my PhD training is that. I also did psychology and sociology. I am just obsessed with knowledge and understanding the world around me. And often, what drives me is the exploration of the unknown, not what is already known, but what could be possibilities, opportunities. Thank you for joining me today. I have been your host, Richard Watkins, and I hope you found this discussion on innovation and education, healthcare, technology, the future of work, climate change, sustainability, and the ethical nature of all the above. I hope you found it useful. Please join us next week as we will be bringing on as a guest Dr. Jeff Warren, director of the NC Collaboratory. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Father's Day. And remember, the Richard Watkins podcast is your home for knowledge. Thank you so much.